In the depths of human connection lies a tale as old as time itself, a story of love, betrayal, and self-discovery. Picture a world where the very essence of romance is built upon a foundation of illusion, where the heart's desires are nothing more than projections of our deepest, most hidden selves. Imagine a woman, her eyes alight with the spark of newfound love, but what she sees is not the man before her, but a carefully crafted fantasy, psychological puppet born from the masculine image within her own unconscious mind. This is her animus, a concept introduced by the renowned psychologist Carl Jung. The man she claims to love is not seen for who he truly is, but rather cast as an actor in her private, unwritten script. He becomes a character in a play he never auditioned for, unaware that his every move is being judged against an impossible standard. As the curtain rises on this psychological theater, the stage is set for an inevitable tragedy. The fantasy cannot sustain itself indefinitely, and when reality begins to seep through the cracks, the illusion shatters. The man's true self, with all its flaws and complexities, deviates from the unspoken fantasy she has woven around him. In this moment, she feels a deep sense of betrayal, not because of who he is, but because he has failed to convincingly play the imaginary character she unconsciously hired him to be. Jung termed this state a form of spiritual possession, where the line between reality and fantasy becomes dangerously blurred, but men are not merely innocent victims in this tragic play. They are, in fact, willing volunteers driven by a desperate craving for female validation. This need, often disguised as compromise or love, is a profound act of self-betrayal. Men choose to become slaves to her fantasy, because it's less terrifying than facing their own inner emptiness. They willingly don the mask she has created, suppressing their true selves in a misguided attempt to secure her affection. Herein lies the cruel paradox of attraction. The very obedience and predictability that men use to win a woman's heart are precisely what cause her to lose interest. The feminine instinct is not drawn to a controllable puppet, but to the mystery and risk of a man she cannot fully define or possess. By erasing his own boundaries in an attempt to please her, a man renders himself disposable. He becomes a known quantity, devoid of the allure that first captured her attention. The path to freedom from this cycle is brutal and lonely, a journey that Jung called individuation. It demands that a man confront his own inner darkness, his shadow. God builds his own soul without relying on others to carry it for him. This process is akin to dying before you die, a spiritual rebirth that burns away the false self to reveal what is real and true beneath. It's a journey that few have the courage to undertake, for it requires facing one's deepest fears and insecurities head-on. As a man walks this path of individuation, he begins to transform. He becomes unmanipulable, untouchable by the projections and expectations of others. No longer does he need to perform or contort himself to fit into someone else's fantasy. He stands firm in his own truth, unapologetically authentic. And here's the ultimate irony. This freedom from need, this unshakable sense of self, is what makes him profoundly attractive to a woman who has also done her own inner work. The man who emerges from this journey is not loved for the role he plays or the character he portrays. Instead, he is respected for the unbreakable reality he has become. He is a sovereign being, complete unto himself, no longer seeking validation or completion from external sources. This is the true essence of masculine power, not domination or control, but an unwavering sense of self that cannot be swayed by the opinions or desires of others. In this new dynamic, love takes on a different form. It is no longer a game of projection and fantasy, but a meeting of two whole individuals. The woman sees the man for who he truly is, with all his strengths and flaws, and chooses to stand beside him not because he fulfills her unconscious desires, but because she respects the journey he has undertaken. This is not a fairy tale ending, for the work of individuation is never truly complete. It is an ongoing process, a constant refinement of the self. But in this space of mutual authenticity, a deeper, more meaningful connection can flourish. It is a love based on truth rather than illusion, on mutual growth rather than mutual dependency. As we reflect on this journey, we are reminded of the power of self-awareness and the courage it takes to break free from societal expectations and unconscious patterns. The path of individuation is not an easy one, but it offers the promise of true freedom and the possibility of genuine, soul-deep connection. In the end, the greatest love story is not one of conquest or possession, but of two individuals who have done the hard work of becoming themselves. It is a story of two sovereign beings choosing to walk side by side, each complete in themselves, yet enriched by the presence of the other. This is the ultimate goal, the true happy ending, that comes not from losing oneself and another, but from finding oneself and then choosing to share that self with another equally whole individual. As we close this chapter, let us remember that the journey to self-discovery is ongoing. Each day presents new opportunities for growth, for peeling back the layers of illusion to reveal our authentic selves. It is in this continuous process of becoming that we find not only ourselves, but also the potential for genuine, lasting love.